Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca and today I have my Reading Rush TBR. So the Reading Rush is a 1 week long readathon. It is the biggest readathon in Booktube. A lot of people participate. It was formerly known as Booktubeathon. I have only participated once previously. I participated last year. It was a whole lot of fun. It's a big community event and I really love how everybody gets involved, so I like to do it as well. This readathon runs from Monday the 22nd to Sunday the 28th. I think. I'm not very good at dates, but it is Monday to Sunday next week, the week after this video is being posted. It was created by Ariel and Raylene. There is a YouTube channel dedicated to the Reading Rush, so I will put the announcement video in my description box if you would like to go check it out. There is still time to join. This year, the readathon has had a whole rebrand. As I said, it was formerly called Booktubeathon. It is now called the Reading Rush, and there is now a website where you can track your reading, get statistics, and earn badges and things like that. When you sign up on the Reading Rush website, you are able to add friends. If you would like to add me as a friend on the Reading Rush website, I will put the link to my profile in the description box. My username is Becca in the books, so I should be pretty easy to find, but regardless, I will put a link down there for you guys if you would like to be my friend. So like I said, I participated in the Reading Rush last year and last year was intense. The Reading Rush is a very fun event. It is also kind of stressful in the amount that we get done. I do not know how I did it last year because last year I read 7 books, I posted 7 daily vlogs, and I went to the gym 3 times all in 1 week. I have no idea how I'm going to do this year, but I'm going to try my very hardest. There are going to be daily vlogs. They will be a little bit different to last year because last year I was recording on my phone. I hadn't yet bought my camera, and so the size of the files that I was recording were a lot smaller, which meant that the export and upload process was a lot faster than it's going to be this year. So I think my current plan for daily vlogs is that they are going to be uploaded the day after. So for example, Monday's daily vlog will be up on Tuesday. I'm aiming for around midday to 1 PM. We will see how I can keep up with that, but that is the plan so far. I am going to be going through my TBR in this video. Obviously that is what this video is all about, but what I want to say before I get into that is that in every other previous round of this readathon, one of the challenges has been to read 7 books. That is not a challenge this year. I am aiming for 7 books. Some of these books do have the possibility that they can double up for other challenges. I'm going to attempt to read 1 book for every single challenge, which will be 7 books over the course of a week. I'm not sure how that is going to go. I'm feeling very stressed this month and that does impact my reading. I really wish that I was one of those people who, when I felt stressed, could really hone in on a book, but what happens with me is that when I'm stressed and I try to read, I can't concentrate. So we will see how we go, but so far I'm planning to read 7 books, put out 7 daily vlogs. You know, I did go to the gym 3 times in a week and I haven't been doing that a lot this year and I really need to. So let's say that I am also going to try and go to the gym 3 times. And we'll see how that goes. As you guys know, I do my monthly Bookopoly TBR, and the Book Junkie Trials is also going on as well. So a few of these books were present in my Bookopoly video, and some of the extra ones that I've added in will be able to fit for challenges that I did not have books picked out for the Book Junkie Trials. So I will fill you all in on that stuff as we're going through. But hopefully now I have finished babbling and we can get into my TBR. So the first challenge for the 2019 Reading Rush is to read a book with purple on the cover, and for that challenge I will be reading Legion and Emperor's Soul by Brandon Sanderson. This is a novella bound up by Brandon Sanderson and it is on my Bookopoly TBR. It fulfills the prompt to read a library book. The reason that I have this is because the Emperor's Soul is a novella that is associated with Elantris, which is the only book that I've read by Brandon Sanderson, and I read it for Booktubeathon last year, so I feel like it's strangely fitting that this is now my Reading Rush TBR. So the other novella in this is Legion. I believe that that is the first in what is now a novella series, and it's a science fiction detective type series, and then of course Emperor's Soul does go alongside Elantris. And then for the Book Junkie Trials, this will also fulfill the prompt for Queendom Stone to read a book that features royalty. The second challenge for Booktubeathon is to read a book in the same location the entire time you're reading it. So essentially pick a spot, read the book only in that spot. You can read it in multiple sittings, so you can leave the spot and come back to it, but you do have to be in the same place whenever you are reading this book. Now I'm somebody who reads everywhere and anywhere. Like I have ebooks books. I carry a book around in my bag all the time. Whenever I can read, I do read. So this is a little bit more challenging for me than I know it's for a lot of people. So I have decided to pick something nice and short, and I will be reading Children of the Whales Volume 4 by Abi Umeda. This is a fantasy manga series that follows 14-year-old Chokoro, who is the archivist on the Mud Whale, which is a floating island that floats along on the sea of sand. The Mud Whale is isolated from the rest of the world, and the people who inhabit it don't really know why they are there. One day, when they pass another island and they head out to it to scout for supplies, they do encounter the first human they have ever seen that is not from the Mud Whale, and that starts off like a whole chain of events. Obviously, I'm on volume 4, so quite a lot has happened since then, but this series contains a lot more brutality than I expected it to going in, and I'm really enjoying the plotline of this. And my favourite thing about this, I can't lie, is the art style. It is absolutely stunning. So I'm not sure what my spot will be yet, but you will see it obviously in my daily vlogs. I'm thinking probably in bed for this, because when I do read Children of the Whales, because they are short manga volumes, I tend to do it last thing at night in bed and just fly through a volume in an hour. The next challenge is to read a book that you were supposed to read last year, and at first I was struggling with this, and I was like, well, all of the books. There were plenty of books that I guess at one point last year I thought I was going to read, or I was supposed to read, but then I remembered that I actually made a video right at the end of 2018 that was books that I wish I'd read in 2018, which featured mainly new releases that I bought because I wanted to read them, but then never actually got around to them. And one of the books that was featured in that video was actually on my Bookopoly TBR, and that is Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J Maas. This was picked out randomly during Bookopoly to fulfill the prompt to read a 5-star prediction. Sarah J Maas is one of my favourite authors, which is why I think it will be 5 stars, and this is currently the only Sarah J Maas book that I have not read. This book is part of the DC Icon series, which is a series of books that was written by popular young adult authors, and essentially each author took a superhero or anti-hero, in the case of Catwoman, and wrote an origin story for them. I have only read one book in this series so far, which again may have been for Booktubeathon last year, and that was the Batman one. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but I had never read anything by Marie Lu, so I didn't really know what to expect. Fun fact, I'm not a huge fan of superheroes, so these books in general are never going to be mind-blowing to me as far as my assumptions on them go. However, Catwoman is an anti-hero. Sarah J Maas is one of my favourite authors, and I do also believe we have the badass trio in this of Catwoman, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, which I'm all about that. So pretty much all I know about this is that it is a Catwoman origin story with some badass villains and anti-heroes. And then for the Book Junkie trials, this one fulfills the prompt for Apothecary Towers, which is to read a book that was randomly selected. So the challenge that I struggled with the most was actually challenge number 4, and that one was to read an author's first book. I thought this would be easy, but it really wasn't, so I decided to go with a book that I have out from the library at the moment, because I need to be reading those library books so that I can return them in a timely fashion. And I have My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. Now I did have to look into this to see if it was Oyinkan Braithwaite's first book, and she has released a collection of short stories before this, but this is her first novel, so I am counting it because I was really struggling to find a priority read that was an author's first book. This was an impulse borrow from the library. I picked this one up because I know that Cody from Cody's Book Corner really liked it, and all I know is that it follows a young woman whose sister notoriously murders her boyfriends. Normally our main character will cover for her sister, but I think in the instance of this particular novel, the boyfriend in question is a man that both women are interested in, so the main character is trying to stop her sister from killing him. Now Cody said that she really liked this. Her only issue was that it wasn't long enough. I hope I don't feel the same way. I hope I'm satisfied with this story. I'm glad that it's short for the purpose of the reading rush, because I should be able to read it hopefully in a day. I need to be reading a book a day, let's be realistic. But I pretty much picked this up just on Cody's recommendation, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it. For the Book Junkie trials, I do have this tentatively placed as a book to fulfill the prompt on the Hallow Isle, which is to read either a horror or an atmospheric book. This is about a serial killer, so I expect it to have some thriller / horror aspects, and it may be atmospheric. I don't know. I'll make that decision when I'm actually reading it. The next challenge is to read a book with a non-human main character, and for that I will be reading Club Dead by Charlene Harris. I think this is the last book on this TBR that's actually my Bookopoly TBR, and this one I picked out for the challenge to read a paranormal or a magical realism book. This is the 3rd book in the Sookie Stackhouse series, which follows a young woman who works at a bar. This is a world where vampires are known. People know that vampires exist, but they think that they are people who have a rare disease that slows down their metabolism kind of deal. Our main character has always wanted to meet a vampire, and one day one strolls into the place that she works, and this is a paranormal romance, so there's romance elements obviously obviously. And this also has mystery aspects because the 2 books that I've read so far also have a plot line of a string of people being murdered and our main character trying to figure out what's going on there. The main character in this Sookie Stackhouse does also have a special ability where she can read people's minds, and it has been implied in the previous books in the series that this makes her not human. I don't know what the deal is with that yet, so I don't know if she is human or if she's not, but regardless, there are plenty of vampires in this series that are main characters, which will fulfill the prompt for the reading rush. And for the Book Junkie Trials, this one fulfills the prompt for the Forgotten Forest, which is to read the next book in a series. The next challenge is to read a book with 5 or more words in the title, and I am excited to see your guys' reaction to how I've bent this and whether you think it's legit or not. But I really wanted to read this book, so I'm making it work. But I will be reading Orange the Complete Collection Volume 2. So that's 6 words in the title, and that is what I'll be reading for this challenge. So this is the second half of the manga series Orange, which is a contemporary manga series with science fiction aspects that follows a young girl, I think she's 16, who receives a letter from herself 10 years in the future that says that if she does not change a few things, then a boy who is transferring into her class will soon die. The first volume of this manga series was my favourite book of the year, so I'm obviously very excited to read the second half. However, I do also have that feeling where I don't want it to be over, so while I do very much want to read this, I know that when it's done, and I can never experience it for the first time again, so I am a little bit tentative about that. This one is a chunky manga volume, but I did read the first half of this for the Ghibli-a-thon, and I aced that readathon, so I'm hoping I can do the same with the reading rush. For the Book Junkie Trials, this one will fulfill the prompt for the Weeping Falls, which is to read a tearjerker. Obviously, this book has some very dark undertones as it is about preventing a boy from dying, and you know, I don't know if they're going to be successful. I don't know whether they will be able to save him from dying or not, so this one could very well make me sob. Aside from that, one of my favourite things about this series is the friendship group, and there's like a love triangle in here that works perfectly, and also romance aspects, so I definitely feel a lot of things when I'm reading this. And then lastly, the last challenge for the reading rush is to read a book to movie adaptation. I am bending this a little bit as well, and the reason for that is that I don't really watch all that many movies. I mean, I do occasionally, but I can't think of a book that I want to read where I actually also want to watch the movie anytime soon. So for that, I will be reading Children of the Whales Volume 5. I'm obviously not going to tell you what this one is about because I explained it when I said I was reading volume 4, but there is an anime series that goes alongside this, and because I've been really enjoying the manga, I have also been watching the anime, but I'm doing it in a way that keeps me on track so that I'm not getting ahead in the anime and spoiling the manga for myself. So my plan is to read volume 5 and then watch the 2 episodes of the anime that correspond to this specific volume. I'm not sure how far the anime goes because there's only 1 season released so far, but if there are not 2 episodes that correspond to this specific volume, I will at least be watching the 2 episodes that correspond to volume 4, so the challenge will be fulfilled at some point somehow anyway. So that is it for my reading rush TBR. Please let me know if you think I'm going to be as successful as I was last year. Please also let me know if you are taking part. As I said at the start of this video, all of the information on the reading rush as well as the link to my reading rush profile will be in the description box. And also please don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you want to. If you head into my description box, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, as well as a link to my Bookish body butter and candle making website, the Instagram for that, and 10% off discount code. But that's it from me today, guys. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go and nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.